We keep having all these problems, how we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same old thing. And I'm tired, are you winning lying? So goodbye.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, well, never mind. Good afternoon. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is June the 10th. Is it? Yeah, it's June the 10th, y'all, 2024. And today the topic is I Am With You. Happy Monday. It's Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good overall. My apologies for the last juice. Y'all know that your girl had to kind of got disconnected while I was out there for soccer on Saturday. And so I had to kind of pre-record it and upload it later and things of that nature. So my apologies for that. But man, y'all still got that juice on Saturday. And look, you're going to get this Monday juice at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Man, my weekend was good overall. I mean, after soccer and spending some time with the other couple, Mr. Joe and Miss Nicole, and their children, we spent a little time at the playground and just chatted and let the kids play. After that, we went and got lunch, came on back home. And I was able to kind of woosah a little bit. And then it was Sunday, and we know that, Sunday tasks. Went in Sunday morning. I was able to get the word in the third gathering, so that was a blessing as well, because, I felt like it was a right on time word, good worship, things of that nature. And the gatherings with the kids was good as well. I would say both gatherings felt pretty good. Shout out to Miss Jen. She's one of the teachers in the room, and she brought some theatrical elements into the lesson. She usually always does, but she actually had another lady come in, and they played Ruth and Naomi for the kids yesterday and told that story. Today, y'all know it's Monday, so I'll be, I guess continuing that conversation with the kids that come tonight. But yeah, man, well, if the Lord's will now. But yeah, man, overall, the weekend was good. I was up like really, really late Saturday night / Sunday morning. And so, yeah, when I got back home, well, technically it was officially Dad's birthday. We chit-chatted with him on Saturday because we was hoping to take him out for lunch or dinner or something. But that didn't pan out. But hopefully he had a wonderful birthday and everything like that. And yeah, man, those are the main highlights. I came back home and was knocked out, making up for all that, staying up late and stuff like that, the lost time. And that's one thing I would say. I wanted to come and update you guys on how the dog sitting is going. I know hubby has been a little frustrated here and there because, well, one, Zori is a puppy technically. So, there's still, some accidents that have been happening, things of that nature. But the thing is, man, NJ is learning responsibility. He's getting time with the dog. He's been taking care of her. Even this morning, I heard he was out there, getting the poop up without, our assistance and, things of that nature. Now, obviously, there's still things he's learning and stuff. But, I've been talking to husband about having a little bit more grace for him and be like, you know what, man, maybe we shouldn't have surprised him with that, he was going to be dog sitting. Like maybe we should have, been training him on what to do with the dog before we brought a dog into the picture. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that could, be the reason why things, have been going or the things that my husband has been kind of, his observations on how NJ is interacting with the dog and things of that nature. And he's like, yes, NJ even need an older dog. He don't need a puppy or something like that. So, I mean, this is a learning curve for all of us, right? And so, and like I told my husband the other day, I feel like, honestly, everything that we do is a learning thing for all of us, right? Like this is our first marriage and preferably our only one, right? But this is our first marriage, so we're learning each other, first child, so we're learning him, he's learning us, life, overall. Like I think he's doing pretty good for his 5 years that he's been here. And of course, again, we got to keep reminding ourselves that, I think we expect much more of maybe our children or something based on their personalities or whatever it is. And, so I'm like, we need to give the guy a little bit more grace in regards to all of that. But so those are the observations that and how my weekend looked or whatever. But what I will say is I noticed that, we've been allowing him NJ to have a little bit more outside time than we usually would have because of the dogs. So they've been spending a lot of time outside. I haven't really heard him, doing any of the regular little stuff like, cars and stuff like that. Now, I mean, I do like for him to use his imagination and build and stuff like that. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to take that away from him, but I'm just noticing like the little changes. Like, he's not trying to take my phone or coming to be like, Mommy, let's watch Little Bear. Like he's been interacting with the dog and things of that nature. So there's been some good things. I've been able to, like I said, when I went to sleep yesterday, it wasn't too much of the waking me up like it usually is. But him and my husband like to wake me up. Wait, don't get me started because I was going to sit here and tell y'all something. But anyway, let's get into this juice, right? Let's get into this juice. So I am with you. So I was inspired by a few things. One, I would say the message that I heard yesterday. One, Pastor was talking about the story about Gideon, which stood out to me because obviously we talked to kids about Gideon last week. And so for him to kind of, bring Gideon into the conversation for the adults or whatever, yesterday was interesting. And obviously he was talking about, that whole process of what, Gideon. Well, what stood out to me, even as I was reflecting on it this morning, is this idea of, one, God telling him that I am with you. Like that part really stood out to me yesterday as I was listening to what the pastor had to say. And then today I just was asking all kind of questions to the app, y'all. I mean, listen, that's probably again why your growth took so long, because I just was really just, really thinking about a lot of different things, as well as just taking that time to just really let things soak in and whatnot. And so, I know at some point I started to kind of seek the Lord about like, why do we need a sign? Like I get it. Don't get me wrong. I come on here and tell y'all all the time. Like when I get little confirmations that you're on the right track, it helps. You know what I mean? It's a blessing and things of that nature. But why do I need that? Right? Why can't I just know? You know what I'm saying? Like why can't I just be obedient to the Lord and let that be, versus like feeling like I need a sign or feeling like I need, confirmation or whatever the case may be. And now, on one hand, I get it. This whole conversation about God saying that He is with us. I mean, it can be good news, right? In some instances, because it's like, okay, I know that I am never alone. Now that's the interesting thing as well, because I'm like, well, Lord, I was asking all kind of questions over the weekend, y'all, to this app, and I just was like, one of the things I was thinking about is like, okay, Lord, so we can't see you, but can the other angelic beings see you? I mean, the spiritual beings, they can see you. So why can't we see you? And would it help for us to see you? Because I mean, people doubt that you're there and all this type of stuff. Now I get it. I totally understand that. Hey, at the end of the day, I can see everything around me, and even when I look in the mirror, I can sit here and say, I did not make myself. I did not make this world. And everything is too intricate and too perfect and too, you know what I'm saying? Like in place to be not created, right? In my humble opinions. But obviously people still question, right? People, and then they're like, well, why don't he just crack the sky now? All the different questions that we can ask. So anywho, that reminder that we're not alone is something obviously that I was sitting here thinking about over the weekend, and everything like that. And then even as I was thinking deeper about, the spiritual beings being able to worshiping and all that different type of stuff, it's like, and then understanding that again, there's this world that we can't see, which the Bible's clear about, like, I know sometimes people talk about the supernatural, right, in this mystical way to be like, ooh. So then you wonder, like, is it real or not? Are there ghosts, or all these different questions that we have. And then again, sometimes people tap into those realms illegally, and they're able to see stuff. Again, I have not had that experience, so I can't say that I've seen anything, outside of what I can see. But I can say that I felt things, I can say that, um, yeah, I could just pretty much say that. Maybe even heard. I might even go as far as say heard things, because I feel like I've had those moments where either I heard my name being called and then it wasn't my husband. You know what I mean? Things like that. And that hasn't happened a whole lot. I'm not trying to say it a creepy way. But so I've had moments like that. So, but for most of the time it's like a feeling. But I don't know. Some people have experienced more. And I'm not going to take anything away from their experience, because at the end of the day, again, a lot of it's biblical. Biblical figures experience these type of things as well, and they saw things and heard things and felt things and all this different type of stuff as well. So, does it help you to know that God is with you? I think that's where my main question for today. Um, to know that He's there, right? That He sees all. Matter of fact, the pastor gave a example that one of my coworkers shared with him yesterday during the gathering. He was telling us, that one of my coworkers was playing hide and seek with her child, and ultimately the child, she couldn't find a space to hide, and so she just put her shirt over her head. And basically the pastor was talking about how that's how we look trying to hide from God. At the end of the day, He sees and knows all, right? So again, the question is, does that help you to know that that God is with you? Now, again, if you're somebody that you're in right standing with the Lord, this might be encouraging and inspiring to know that God is with you, because there's plenty of times you feel alone, right? I know I've been there, and everything like that. I talked to you guys way back in the day about that, feeling alone. And now I'm in a situation where I'm never probably going to be alone again in my life, unless something happens or whatever the case may be. Because I have my husband, I have my son. I'm never going to be physically alone anymore, if the Lord's will. Again, unless something happens or whatever the case may be. But on the flip side, again, those are just physical aloneness. But sometimes we can be in a crowd, right, and still feel alone. So again, if you are in right standing with the Lord, this conversation about God being with us can be encouraging. Now, if you're not in the right standing with the Lord, then I'm sure it can be probably difficult, or maybe even a scary thing to think about, that, hey, while I'm doing wrong, God is right there. He knows all, He sees all. Well, will that make you make different and better decisions? I hope so. But again, everybody's on their own journey. But anyway, so I was going deeper about this. I did go to openbible.info a couple of times today and look into some verses, but I pretty much got led back to my little main resource these days, which is chatholybible.com, that app. And I ended up getting my verses from there today. So here are the verses that were standing out to me this morning, centered around this conversation about I am with you. Isaiah 41:10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be frightened, for I am your God." Now, no, we're not talking about Miracle Sims. No, I am not your God. I'm reading the Bible, okay? And this is what the Lord is trying to let us know. Like, honestly, I took a moment to kind of just, like I said, I was asking all kind of questions, but I just was like, Lord, why did you put it on us to, or give humans the responsibility to share about you? Like, I mean, you could have just did it yourself, like, and again, the Bible's clear about, like, everything around us shows and shares with us that there's God. And He could have chose any type of way to reveal Himself. Obviously He did in the past, from the angel of the Lord to the burning bush to the pillar of light, and all these different things, right? To, I guess, show and tell, right, that He is there. And so in our day and time, it's like, ooh, you're not doing none of that stuff for us. Now, some of us, again, are experiencing that type of thing. So it's not to say that he's not doing it for us. I even went deeper about that because I'm like, man, the people before us, obviously, even though they didn't have all the technology that we have and all this different type of stuff, they obviously had a better understanding of all of these things, biblically and whatnot. All of this, the coming Messiah, all this different type of stuff. They had so better understanding, in my little humble opinion, than we even know. Like, we over here just questioning basics. You know what I'm saying? And those people were on a whole nother level mentally to experience God on that level. And I know we often have or take issue with, again, the things that we don't like in the Bible, right? Those things that's like, well, he judged these people, or he killed these people, or it's this, that, and the other. Now, again, I think I shared with you guys over the weekend about mainly like Frank Tour's response to that. Again, do God have the right, as the creator, to take away his creation or move his creation from one place to another? Like, I know at some point I was asking my husband, his opinion about a similar question, basically. And he's like, well, if you created it, then you can only be right, or something like that. I can't get his response the way he said it that day, but it was good. It was a good response. But yeah, just things to think about, y'all. I'm just trying to share with you guys some things to hopefully encourage and inspire. Let me give you guys another verse, and it's Matthew 28:20. It says, "And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." I mean, I ain't got too much else to say about that. I mean, he says he is with us. He tells us not to fear in the first verse, and then he's doubling down to say, surely I am with you. John 14:18 says, I will not leave you orphaned. I will come to you. So again, like, even in those times that we feel alone, even in those times like the footprints in the sand poem and things like that, that we can be in our lowest place, he's letting us know that he's not going to leave us orphaned. He's not going to leave us alone. I guess it's all about acknowledging that, right, and receiving it, versus not acknowledging it and ignoring him, and then saying you're not there. Like, at the end of the day, I feel like, I guess that's what a lot of us do. And so, yeah, that's something to think about. Let me give you guys another verse. Isaiah 43:2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. So, I mean, this is the type of protection you have when you are with the Lord, right? When you are, I guess, accepting His grace and mercy and all these different things. We can walk through the fire, we can walk through the water, and those things will not affect us. Matter of fact, I was thanking the Lord a little bit before I went live, about giving me the peace that I now have, regarding my finances, yes, but then also regarding just life, man. Sure, over the weekend I was talking to, several people about, being in this place of just not knowing. And I'm okay with the not knowing. But at the same time, it's a strange place to be. Like, I mean, I could think back on the past and think like, oh, there was always, again, not to say I don't have goals or something, but I don't know. I mean, maybe because I was like always thinking about, okay, the next step, next step, next step. And now that I'm in the place that I've been dreaming and praying about again, yes, married and a mom and all this different type of stuff. But I mean, even in spite of, again, those things, it's not even just that, right? I think it's just, I'm on the brink where I know that change is coming. Like, I mean, just our son going to school alone is meaning that change is coming. Not let alone, like, again, my husband's situation or mine when it comes to work and all these different type of things, right? I know that there's change coming, right? We're not going to stay in this place the way that it currently is. And again, that can be a troubling place if you're somebody, again, that is not in the will of the Lord. Like, I feel like I'm walking in the will of the Lord. Like, I ain't gonna lie, every now and then I try to make sure and be like, Lord, I even asked the question to that app I was telling you guys about, like, hey, Lord, like, how do I know that I'm not one of those ones that's saying, Lord, Lord, and and you say, depart from me because I don't know you. Like, how I know I'm not one of those people? Because, I think I'm walking in my purpose and I think I'm doing what you want me to do. And I feel like it. But at the same time, a lot of people can be thinking and thoughting and feeling. So how do I know I'm not one of those people, And it gave me some good feedback, things to think about and things to be like, basically, are you doing this versus this? Are you doing that versus that? And I'm like, I felt like I was still on the right side of history, as they say. So, but anywho, y'all, it's just one of those things to think about, man. Again, we can be, no matter where we are, basically, we can be okay, right? Be content, be at peace, right? Again, even with me not knowing like what is to come, right? I don't know what the changes are going to look like, right? I don't know. Even with the work situation, I can't lie. I've been kind of going back and forth because on one hand, I'm like, well, Lord, it'd be nice to bring more funds in. It'd be nice to maybe get full time at the church. It'd be nice to do this, that, the other. Then I'm like, well, Lord, who knows, man? You probably got me right where I'm supposed to be because with us deciding to put our son in virtual school, somebody got to be there with him to do, the class. And so I have the time right now, majority of the time, to do that. So maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? But either way, I'm at peace, right? And I think that's, well, I know that is a huge change, you know what I mean? Because back in the day, I was not really at peace. I had the, again, the weekly income. I had my own place. I had all the things, right? And I was working on some of the things as well. But I was not at peace. I was not content. But hey, it's a whole different thing to be, again, in God's will and doing things his way and allowing him to lead and guide your life. Even the things you don't understand, you can still be at peace with. So that's mainly it in regards to the verses that I felt led to write down. There's plenty of verses that you guys can look at in the Go Deeper section to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But the Bible verse of today, friends, is Matthew 7:24. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. Friends, I hope y'all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow. If the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you go, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing. All those wonderful things. Your girl got a few more hours before things. One, I'm supposed to do an episode of the GSL Talk Show, so that's one thing. And then two, I'm going to the church to be with the children. For our Monday night gathering. So that is what's on my schedule today. Again, the kid is out there playing with his little dog. Y'all saw him come in earlier. It's not his dog. The dog that we're dog sitting. But anywho, I don't know what he wanted, but he probably was just coming to tell me something the dog did because he's been doing that a lot lately. I think he's back. I think he's coming. I heard the door. Okay, anyway. So I got maybe like an hour or two, hour and a few minutes before I have to do this show and then, get ready for church and things like that. But that's what's going on, man. Y'all hope y'all have a wonderful Monday, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye.